Hey everybody, welcome to our weekend check-in video for Saturday, April 2nd for Psych 5 Social Psychology. I'm just going to go over a few items and reminders, clarifications as I always do, so let's get started. First up, your most recent discussion on Chapter 9 on social influence. That was due there yesterday night, so last evening there Friday, so most of you turned that in, did a good job, so I was pleased to see that. Also, I did, of course, post the scores from your most recent quiz on Chapter 9 earlier this week, so do take a look at those scores there in the Canvas gradebook. You will have your quiz on Chapter 10 on relationships and attraction. That'll be on Monday, and you'll have your discussion for Chapter 10 due next Friday on April 8th, so make sure you get it in on time. On Monday, when we come back, we are going to continue on with Chapter 10, which we started a little bit of last time. We're going to pick up where we left off with attachment and then work our way through the end of the chapter, including some interesting material on attraction and what attraction basically is made of and where it comes from and what influences it. And we're also going to work through a bit of Chapter 11. So we'll finish 10, get into a bit of Chapter 11, which deals with some pretty important and certainly timely, unfortunately, topics here at stereotyping, prejudice, and discrimination. We'll define all those terms because they're easily confused. We're also going to be taking a look at several different perspectives that psychology has come up with to try to explain why these things happen in the first place. So why do people develop prejudice and discrimination and stereotyping? We're going to examine all that good stuff there in the chapter. And we're also going to be taking a look at the really curious but kind of unsettling phenomenon of what's called modern racism, which is definitely distressing. So we'll take a look at that. And that's probably where we're going to end up leaving off next time. So also next up here, don't forget to be working on your inquisitive assignments. You can always work ahead on those. So they'll help you prepare for the exam, but they'll also help you practice and master the material for each of the chapters. So do work on those, and don't forget they have to be turned in no later than the time we're going to have our next exam on these current chapters 9, 10, and 11. Last up here, I just want to remind you that your literature review paper is coming due fairly soon. It's going to be due not next week and not the following week, which is spring break week, but the following Monday after spring break, April 18th. It is due by that time, so please make sure you get it in by then. There's a clear submission area that you'll find there. Remember, the module for the APA Literature Review module is underneath Unit 5 of our course material. So scroll down past Unit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Underneath 5, you'll see the Literature Review module there. Look for the instructions for Component 2 of the paper. That's the final Literature Review paper. When you open up those instructions at the very top, there's a little short how-to video that I put together. So please do watch that. It'll really help you out there. Also, don't forget there, as you look through the instructions, you'll see a separate file that is dedicated there. It's a basically instructions and checklist for you to take a look at. So take a look at the instructions carefully. It's a Word file there. Take a look at the checklist that's also included there. The checklist is a list of do's and don'ts, things you do want to have in your paper and things you don't want to have in your paper. So do look at that carefully there. There is a link within the instructions file there to what's called the Online Writing Lab, the OWL, which has samples of like your title page and a completed, actual paper. So you can take a look at that. It's always good to have a completed model to work from. So do take a look at that sample completed literature review paper. In the submission area there, you will see you must submit it there via a platform that's called Turnitin. It analyzes for plagiarism, because I do have to check that you're not using somebody else's work as your own. And also make sure that it is in Microsoft Word, PDFs, Apple Docs, etc. Those are not acceptable. It must be in Microsoft Word, so please make sure that you submit it in that proper format there. And as you'll find in the instructions there, what you're going to be turning in is a paper that is minimum 4 pages of actual literature review content that is talking about the studies you find and how they apply to your topic there. And you're going to have 3 additional pages on top of that, a title page, an abstract page, and a page of your references. So 7 pages altogether, but 4 pages that are actually the literature review itself. And they must be 4 full pages, so not 3 1/4 and not 3 1/2. It has to be at least 4 full pages. And of course, you can make it longer there if you want to. Just be careful that you cite, that is, say something about each one of your 5 academic peer-reviewed research articles. If you want to include more than those 5, that's perfectly fine. But do make sure you say something about each one of them, and don't have things in your literature review that are not found as sources in your list of references, because this is a review of the literature. Again, the literature you located, not about things that you didn't locate and document in your list of references. And do be careful when you write this literature review. This is a review of the scientific literature, so this is not to be a personal paper about your life experiences, nothing autobiographical. Make sure that you focus on what the literature says and don't tell me the story of your life. So the emphasis should be on your topic and how the literature that you located in your references supports that. And if you want to say, oh, by the way, I've seen this phenomenon in my family, I've seen this in the workplace, that's okay. But don't do the reverse. Don't talk about, here's what's going on in my family, and say, oh, by the way, there's a study that supports this. So hopefully that helps you get the idea. You will find a grading rubric there at the bottom of the instructions there in the module for the paper, so do take a look at that so you can be careful about what might cost you some points there. And also, don't forget, there is the Reading and Writing Center over there in the library. The staff there can help you. You can just walk in, as far as I understand, and they will help you in case you're having any issues or problems there, because I cannot teach you how to write. I can only tell you what the parameters are and the instructions are for writing this particular paper. But if you're having some trouble with those things, please do use the Writing Center. They're very familiar with things, including APA style. You know, they know all those things. And so definitely don't be shy to ask for help from those folks. That's what they get paid for. They're there to help you. So please do take advantage. Otherwise, that's everything I wanted to say this time. I hope you're having a good weekend, and I will see you in class on Monday for Chapter 10 and also a bit of Chapter 11. So take care until then.